Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to present to you my best tips for how to improve and develop your rhythm and pose. A lot of people have problem to keep pose when they play together with others, or even when they are playing alone they have difficult to keep the same tempo. And in today's video I want to show you how you can develop this integrity, your inner rhythm, instead of following one rhythm for the sake of the rhythm. And I'm talking about how to integrate that together with your instrument, so your movements, your technical skills will become the rhythm and not the opposite. So why is it important to focus on rhythm? Well, there are a couple of reasons. For number one is to be able to play on the beat when you're playing yourself, and to be able to be rhythmical even so you are having things happening on the violin, for example shifting or your string crossing and other physical problems that you may encounter when you play the instrument. So you are not imagining a rhythm and then playing it, but rather your emotions are becoming the rhythm. Number two is to be able to play with others. When you play in an ensemble, everyone may have like a different internal pose, and that can be a problem if you want to integrate yourself in on the ensemble. That's why you have to be able to both follow the others and have your internal rhythm, and that will integrate them together. Tip number one is called subdivision. So I'm using the metronome to have subdivision on every quarter note. You can of course use 8 notes or 16 notes depending on how much you want to work on the pause. So I'm going to set up my metronome on quarters. And if I want, I can do even more subdivisions, so I can put it on 8 notes, which will be double tempo, I guess. And so on. You can choose yourself how many subdivisions you want that can help you to make the rhythm even more consistent. Tips number two, it's called Superdivision. So in the previous one we added more beats, but in this one we are going to take away beats. First we're going to start with having 16 notes beat. But then I'm gradually going to go to 8 and quarter notes, and then probably half notes. So I will start with the 16 notes now. challenging to play with so many clicks. So now I'm going to do it in half. And then when you practice for a while with this, you can cut even more in half. So it will sound like this. It's actually quite challenging to count yourself in, so I'll try to do it right from the beginning. Tips number 3 is to put the metronome to fall on between the beats instead of on the beat, because that will train your inner pulse, and of course it's much more difficult. So let's try on Vocalise by Rachmaninoff again, and I will put my metronome and play up in between the beats. And I wasn't really accurate with my rhythm, because eventually I started to play together with the rhythm, so it really takes a lot of practice to do this proper, but it's really good exercise. Tip number 4 is to learn to play 2 against 3 and 3 against 4. And for that you can use Galamian's scales. So you can start with 8s, then you go to thirds, and then 16s, and then you accelerate the rhythm, but you still use the same bow, and that will force you to think about how many notes you have to fit on one bow. Then we use 4. Then you do triplets. 16. 32. 'My next tip is to play behind the beat. Most of the people have problem of rushing and not dragging. So this will help you to make more out of every note. So I will put my metronome, and then I'll try to play a little bit lazy. My next tip is to move your body when you play. So I will play Partita number 2, Allemanda by Bach, And first I'll try to be very accurate with the rhythm, and then I will try to move more and maybe even accelerate the movement with the body, so that you get this basic pose, internal pose that I have been talking about in the beginning of my video. So it will sound like this. And then I will be a little bit more free and probably drag a little bit after some notes, and others I will put back in the pose. And this is the basic way to make music. My last tip is to save bow on slurred notes. So very often we forget that last note on the bow, and we don't have more bow, and then we just clip it. And that can really kill the line of the music. So be very careful with that last one. My tip is to save bow in the beginning and then let this one just sound more. Thank you for watching my video. If you like it, please subscribe and push the like button. Feel free to ask me questions or leave me comments. And I will see you in my next video. Until then, happy practicing!